G'day folks, Jaiden Drought here with the Farm Trader, and Kiwi farmers are known worldwide for two things. One, turning glorious sunshine and rain into protein and milk that we send to the world. The second one is that is done from a pasture-based system. Now, with a pasture-based system, often you need to give it a bit of a renovate. You need to bring those new species in, or you might want to plant some crops, or after your maize, turnips, etc., you want a drill that's going to be out there doing the damn thing. Now, 4AG have an absolute game changer. This is the SmartDrill. It's essentially two drills in one. You get the direct drill and the roller drill. It's speedy, it's smart, and it's nice and simple for Kiwi farmers and contractors. There's lots of cool features. Let's go and check it out. So if we now look at a couple of the key features of the SmartDrill itself, let's look first at the 500 litre hopper. Now this is APV, it's made in Austria, very high quality, and have been around in New Zealand for a long time. This features about 8 or 9 bag capacity, so 500 litres kind of depending on the seed, but that's roughly 8 or 9 bags of grass seed is what you're going to get in there. And you've got two monitor options, so you can either have the standard APV monitor here, the 5.2, or it can be run through ISOBUS. So in terms of the ISOBUS one, that is a GPS driven thing, so essentially the faster you go, it will meter more seed, and with this monitor you get the radar. Again, it just goes with the tractor speed, so it's monitoring how fast the tractor's going, and then it will again meter that seed out. In terms of the seed distribution itself, we've got a 24 outlet at the bottom of the APV seeder here itself, and we've got a 24 run machine on the 3 metre version here. So just in terms of versions, there's a 3 metre, which is kind of the farmer spec one, or contractors, depending on sort of the topography that you're doing. There's also 4 on 5 metre, and they are folding in a slightly different configuration. But let's just focus on this one for a start. But again, there's some different options with the bin itself on the bigger models. But we've got for the cassettes the same essentially. So this one here is for lucerne or some kind of specialty seeds, and then you've got a small dimple roller, which is for turnips. So that's 1 kg to the hectare. That's as low as it will sow. And then you've got the larger one, which is in this machine, and that's for grass seed. So essentially anything above 15 kgs to the hectare, and then all the way up to oats at 120 kgs to the hectare, for example. It's nice and easy to change these cassettes depending on what you're doing. Most people in this instance will just be drilling grass. They have the one cassette, happy days. In terms of other features on the hopper itself, it's got a nice plastic lid. There's got the step here, which you can just fold down nicely, get up there, little platform, nice little handrail, and it's also got the hydraulic driven fan. So regardless of what monitor option you have, you can set the fan speed on both this one or the ISOBUS one, and that makes sure that you've got plenty of airflow going through those pipes. Now, in terms of some of the other features of an air seeder just generally that makes it better in most cases than a box drill is you don't need as much seed. So because this has a low level seed sensor, which is just around the back there, that will let you know when you're just about out of seed. And secondly, because it's all going through one distribution head and not spread across the width of the machine, you actually need significantly less seed at those really low rates. So that's more important for your turnips and that at 1 or 2 kgs to the hectare. Secondly, having a large hydraulic fan that allows you to blow lots of air through the pipes if you need to, and it also works on hills. So if you're drilling on some hilly country, which is kind of what we're in today, you don't get any bridging. So because these come from the hopper itself, it comes all the way down to the boot, and the seed is it's not blasted into the ground, but it is being carried through there with a lot of high volume air. And so what that means is that if the drill's on an angle and you're trying to push seed uphill, gravity doesn't work that well. However, the air system is fantastic for that. The other major benefit is that you also, in sort of wet, moist, humid conditions, when it's really muggy, there's a lot of moisture in the air. This also allows the pipes to stay dry, and it means that you don't get any shelving of the seed in the pipes. If we now look at the seeding hardware on the SmartDrill itself, we've got the 400mm discs. Now these are notched and they're also tungsten hardened. So what that means is it's got higher wearing properties, and it also offers superior bite in the hard and also trash clearance. So it sort of has that chopping effect as it goes through. These are all got lifetime sealed bearings, and if you did have to change one, for example, or change the disc itself or the hub here, it's just simply a 32mm nut there. In terms of contour following itself, they've got the rubber blocks here, which is just on an angle on the RHS, and what that does is it just gives that hole a bit of a torsion effect. So when you're going through the contour, it does offer that rigidness, so you get that superior seed depth in terms of quality and consistency all the way through the paddock, but it does offer a little bit of give when you need it. There's also another little rubber mounting in here which does give that disc a little bit of cushion as well. The boot itself, there's also a tungsten hardened option, and that is probably more so for the contractors, those guys that are doing a lot of hectares per year. But again, the seed hose here is rubber mounted, so this obviously moves around a little bit as it's in the ground going through the paddock. So there's those couple of rubber options there just to give that nice little bit of cushioning. In terms of contour following, like I mentioned earlier, this thing is 1.2 meters from this axle to the axle on the Guttler roller, which I'll get to in a minute. And what that means, being on the 2-point linkage and that short distance, you know, New Zealand paddocks look flat a lot of the time, but those humps and hollows can be really tricky for drills. And so having that short distance there works fantastic. We've also got this little bar here, and so you can either put splash plates on there, so you can have another 4 outlets on here, and you can either run it behind the discs and in front of the roller. So I mentioned earlier, it's also a roller drill, so that could be perfect for that. Or you can mount this out the front and you can have those splash plates out there before the discs themselves. In terms of the roller, it's 540mm, it's a Guttler roller, so essentially every second one of these is sloppy on the shaft, and so you get that chattering effect. The beauty of that is that it does give a really nice finish, and it contour follows really well. It also closes the slot, right? So it's moving around, it's got that soil movement, and again, that's what makes this a very good contour following in terms of the direct drilling and also the roller drilling option for these smart drills. Now I know how much farmers love a 2-for-1 special. I mentioned at the start that this is direct drilling and roller drilling compatible. If we start with the direct drilling first, the discs are actually on a 3-degree angle. However, the boot itself is straight. So what that means is that you get your nice seeding line, so it doesn't look like you've been driving wonkily down the paddock. However, you do get that bite and that trash clearance from that notch disc being on the angle. The other cool thing here is that it's 125mm spacing, so it's 5 inches, and that means that you don't have to do any of that cross drilling to get that nice clover and also that ryegrass establishment nice and quick, and that also then keeps those pesky weeds at bay. If we then move to the roller drill itself, what that means is there's another couple of cool things with the boot itself, and what that does is that when you roller drilling, you can essentially just increase the fan speed slightly, and there's the tip at the back of the point itself, and that sort of fans it out as the seed comes out, so that gives you that roller drilling type finish. In terms of the roller drill itself, you can adjust that depth, which is also your depth for your seeding if you were direct drilling, via the ram shims. So they are in 2mm options, so essentially you just put a shim on, you go up 2mm, and vice versa, right? So if you want to take them all off or put them all on, that's entirely your call. To check out all of the good things about the SmartDrill or thousands of other news and reviews, head to farmtrader.co.nz, and as always, keep an eye on the socials about what we're up to.